All right. Now the truth is, it's because I didn't have a shirt. I needed a shirt. What the fuck is wrong with this camera? Yeah. So the thing is I needed a shirt. I didn't have a shirt. We're doing laundry, so this is actually like a show, like a shirt I would perform with. I would never wear this in the morning just to wear this shirt. But this is what I found. It is a nice shirt. Melissa got me this shirt. In fact, here's a sepsis. Here's some sepsis facts for you. Melissa usually coordinates and arranges my wardrobe. So if you guys don't like my stage clothes, it's because of Melissa. Now y'all know.
It's all my fault.
How is everybody being able to hear me and see me and all of these things? Hey, good morning, Hans. Good morning to you, motherfuckers. You guys are here. I got my joint rolled up. I got some shit for you today. Did you guys know that Puff Daddy was raided last night? I know that's not really like, I don't really qualify that as music industry news. I think we'll talk about that on the Honeycomb though, for sure. But I figured I'd let you guys know. Yeah. Generations of music. You know, I think people sometimes they see these programs and they wonder why I'm doing this. Like, why am I always talking about the music industry? Why don't I just shut the fuck up and play guitar, right? I had somebody the other day say, stop whining. People that are victims of crimes aren't whining. You know what I mean? When people are trying to get help, when people are trying to get educated, you know, when victims of sexual assault make people aware of the assault, they're not whining. That's not whining. You guys are tripping. You can't look at victims of crimes and accuse them of being whiners. That's not going to, you know. Anyhow, so somebody said the other day, they came to the page and they were like, man, you got to stop whining about the music industry. I said, listen, son, you're younger than me, and I think you're having a hard time determining through text, you know, the validity of me whining or not. I think reporting and whining are two different things. I think complaining and whining are two different things. But I heard him at face value. But it's like this. If you're on my page and you want me to stop whining, wouldn't that mean that you're whining on my page about me whining? Like, so don't come to the page. You don't have to come to the page and listen to me whine, is what I'm saying. So if you guys think that I'm whining or complaining, you know, if you think that me revealing, you know, victims in music industry crimes is whining, I call that education. I call that self-awareness. You know, we're in an industry. If you were in the farming industry, I think you would want to know. I think you'd want to know if they were abusing the animals. You know, if you were a farmer and you were reporting on animal abuse, does that make you a whiner? That's crazy, man. So let me just tell you the reason why I do this. You could call it complaining. You can call it whining. I don't give a fuck what you call it. If you come to this page and you complain about it, then you're just whining with me. Now you're whining about me whining. So I actually have substance and context, and I have facts that we can go over, that we can observe, that we can measure. We have real-time events that we can talk about as conversationalists, but we don't have any time to whine. See, people that whine, they don't have any contacts. They don't have any case law. They don't have any studies. Most of the stuff we talk about on my programs is the law. We study case law in terms of the music industry. When people want to know how I come to the common denominator of the events that happen in the music industry, it's because I follow case law. And I follow case law in terms of technology and how things are changing in the industry. I don't follow popular musicians to become educated about the music industry. I don't read Loudwire or the heavy metal blogs to become educated about accounting or about the law or crime and court cases that transpire within the technology and music industry. That's why we have this here. We have this program because there are people like Puff Daddy. So that's why I have this. That's why I have this live stream, because there are people like Marilyn Manson. Because we have an industry that celebrates and that is easy and lighthearted on criminals and predators. That's why we have this live stream, so I can educate my team and my staff about the crime that's going on in the music industry. Pat says, hey brother, how are you? How are you? Hope all is well, and say hello to the rest of the people. Thank you so much, Pat. Bless your brother this morning, and I hope you're having a great week so far. How you guys doing? Hans puts it right out there. Hans said that it's about equality and fairness. He's absolutely right, you know. And that means we have an equal opportunity to learn about the music industry and the tools and the events with the internet. We have an equal opportunity to educate ourselves and share information. I know that some people don't want us to share that information, so they'll try to intimidate us by calling us whiners or, you know, making it sound like it's petty. When my friends were being beaten and raped as children, they used to tell the kids that they were whining about it. That's what they used to tell the kids. I grew up in all these places where they used to abuse and beat the kids and do all this crazy shit. And when the kids would report it, the police would tell everybody that the kids were just whining, that they were just mouthy, whiny kids, and that them reporting sexual assault and sexual abuse was just whining. They were so whiny. Why would they want to include that in the report? So that's what this is about. This is about us being able to examine the music industry just the same as rapist R. Kelly would have the opportunity to. You know, why does he have all the tools? Why does he have all the plugs and the networks? Marilyn Manson just settled out to avoid trial. He had, you know, SA accusers and adult accusers tried to litigate with him in court to avoid trial. He put up the hush money. And my thoughts are this. Even if you're innocent, if you're somebody accused of an SA adult type offense or assault, okay, and a woman accuses you and you are indeed innocent, there must be so much substantial relative evidence that an innocent man would be willing to pay off his lying accuser. Think about how substantial that is. Because I don't know any innocent men that would pay off their accusers for being accused of SA. I just don't. I don't know a single male in my life that would be willing to admit that they did something like that and wouldn't fight it to the end. So that's why we talk about this, because there are major celebrities, powerful figures in the music industry, and they lie, they cheat, they steal, and they abuse people that are less powerful than them. And that's why we have this live program every morning, so we can arm ourselves and teach people day to day, bands, artists, rappers, singers, entrepreneurs, We can talk as conversationalists. We can examine. We can discovery. We can host discovery. And we can all observe in real time the events and the stories that are happening every day in technology, social media, and the music industry. That's why we have this show. I hope that makes sense. Something's going on with this microphone, and I can't tell what it is. I think it might need to be tightened up a little bit. There we go. So Hans is right. It's about equality and fairness, an equal right and opportunity, a birthright to education, a birthright to knowledge, a birthright to music, a birthright to freedom, a birthright to having conversations. It's about fairness. The modern music industry model is a criminal enterprise. And that's what I'm showing you guys on this live stream. And I would know because I grew up with murderers, killers, and lifers. I would know because I grew up in courtrooms with prosecutors, judges, and criminal psychologists. That's why I have this live stream. It's not for everybody. It's only for people that are fearless enough to look over the day-to-day events, laws, and facts about the music industry. And sometimes that could be, honestly, it could be depressing. It could be surprising and overwhelming to some people who have never been able to look at the music industry and examine it, reverse engineer it, question it. Tracy Chan, ex-chief content officer at SoundCloud, joins AI music company Splash as executive officer. The reason why I'm showing you guys this is just so you guys could see once again that all of these folks are in a category and caliber and community of their own. You know, they jump in and out of positions. They play musical chairs and shuffle jobs. One guy from SoundCloud, he goes over to Apple, a tech from Apple. He starts development at Spotify. 3 guys get fired from Spotify and get hired by AI music companies. Those guys get turned over. Those guys and girls go through the revolving door and wind up at YouTube Music. Then people at YouTube Music are fired and they wind up working. I just wanted to point this out that all of these guys are in the same building. They're all in the same group. And you're not in this group. The music industry, the developers and the techs and the coders, the people that build these devices and gadgets and software, the people that assist in evading the laws by outrunning the amount of time that laws can be established. These people have no concern in you playing acoustic guitar. I'm just going to go through this quickly. It's not a real big news story. I just wanted to share with you that these guys jump in and out of their position. They go from CEO at YouTube Music to going to working in the mailroom at Spotify. And 3 weeks later, they're the head of, R&D at Apple Music. Backed by investors including Amazon, Alexa Fund, and a whole bunch of other dudes, Splash develops AI-based tools and games for music creation and performance. It's consumer stuff. The company raised 20 million in Series A funding in 2021. It's led by ex-Twitter alumni Stephen Phillips and Richard Slater. Didn't I just say that? Didn't I just tell y'all that these guys hop in and out of jobs like a pair of socks, man? Like changing shoes. They get fired from SoundCloud. They get hired over at Alexa. They get fired over at Google. They get hired at Amazon Music. It's like trading Pokemon cards. These guys see each other in the hallway. They're all trading secrets. Have you guys ever heard of the company Splash? You've never heard it. That's why I'm showing it to you, because you've never heard of it. How many musicians do you think on Facebook, how many aspiring musicians on Instagram in our circle, in our community? Let's talk about some bands. Let's talk about some people. Do you think Parts Per Million knows what Splash is? Do you think Scarecrow Hill knows what Splash is? Do you think that our friends in Carpathia know what Splash is? Do you think that some of these bands know? How about... And the reason why I'm asking that is because there's so many people who just don't even... You would never even know this stuff exists. Because you've got nobody on your team that's introducing these ideas and introducing these companies and apps to you every single day. You would need somebody on your team doing what I do every single day in order to stay up to date with all of this crap coming out. That's what I'm trying to show you. That's why I'm having this live stream. I know you guys don't have the time to do it. That's why I'm doing it. I do have the time. I'll do it for you. The company raised 20 million in Series A funding, powered by AI model trained on what the startup says is a self-created and owned music library. Do you hear what that says? So, ex-Twitter alumni Stephen Phillips and this other gentleman that we just met, Australia-born AI music company Splash, has appointed former SoundCloud and Twitch Spotify executive Tracy Chan. This is him. You guys, look. He used to work for SoundCloud, he used to work for Twitch, and he used to work for Spotify. And now, this is yet another new gadget. It's another new tool that these developers and startups are hoping to cash in and leverage in and redefine what independent artists really are and what that means. Everyone in the music industry right now is getting ready to jump on and lobby on to this fan-centric, artist-centric, fan and artist-based new music ecosystem that I've been talking about. And I'm showing you guys right here, right now, with up-to-date information, where the major players come from. They all come from companies. They all come from organizations. They all trade each other almost like basketball players or football players. You know what I mean? They're all drafted. SoundCloud drafts their developers, and people that used to work at Twitch, they draft their developers from people from YouTube. YouTube stabs their employees in the back, and then they move over to iTunes. This is what they're doing. This is what they're doing. Anyhow. That's why we do it. This is the reason why we are doing this live stream. So you guys can know that day to day, let's read the top. Streaming fraud leads to prison sentence for Danish man encased, called historic by artist groups. Listen to what I'm saying to you. This is not a story from 3 years ago. I don't make up or whine about streaming. This is the top news in the music industry. Don't kill the messenger. It is not complaining or whining when we share valuable information with each other. That is just whiny people complaining that we are sharing information between each other. Nobody has to come here and listen to this live stream. Nobody is held hostage or is told to be here to listen to what I have to say. I'm going to read each day the events, courtroom proceedings, litigations, scientific truths, and we are going to examine the music industry on a day-to-day basis so we can conclude and establish truths together in real time. I don't know anything you don't know. You don't know anything I don't know. We're coming here and we're discovering it at the same time. This is from March 22nd. Streaming fraud leads to prison sentence for Danish man. Why would this be an important story in the music industry? It's because streaming fraud is a major issue, not an issue for whiners. It is a major issue for the world. Stealing from musicians is a global problem. Because any time that you can steal on a global value, you got to understand it affects you. I got to use the bathroom. Read the headline. So, like, here's a side note, but you guys know the little sound bit that I have here. It kind of reminds me of the Bernie and Phil's furniture jingle. You know, Bernie and Phil's quality, comfort, and price. That's nice. Look. Comfort and price. That's nice. See? Let's do it again. Bernie and Phil's quality, comfort, and price. That's nice. See? Come on, that's fucking weird, right? That just hit me. I'm telling you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to do you like that. I've been trying to light this joint for a long time, you know. We're going to learn about this guy going to jail. So, I mean, it's probably something that nobody ever thought that they would actually see. So let's go over it. Streaming fraud leads to prison sentence for a Danish man in case called historic by artist groups. Streaming fraud and manipulated audio are two of the biggest headaches in the music industry today. Now, see, when I say that, everybody says I'm fucking whining. You see that? That's why I have the internet on the screen with me as I'm doing this live stream. Because some people that watch me on the internet and don't know me, they think I'm making stories up about the music industry. People might think that I'm coming on week to week and I'm imagining elaborate events that are happening in the music industry, and then I'm whining about them online. If I'm whining, then so is this author, because in bold print it says here, whether artists and bands want to listen to me or not, this is what the music industry is talking about. So maybe you're not part of the conversation, but the rest of the music industry, we are all having this conversation. The rest of the music industry is all hosting this conversation daily, nightly, minute to minute, because it's such a fucking problem. And that's why we talk about it right here. Because we know that independent artists are so outdated and so disconnected and so far from the conversation. Sepsis is your only hope. You guys just haven't realized it yet. Here it says in bold print, streaming, fraud, and manipulated audio are two of the biggest headaches in the music industry. And a criminal case in Denmark highlights how the two problems can go hand in hand. A man in Denmark's East Jutland region has been sentenced to 18 months in prison after he was found guilty of data fraud and copyright infringement. Prosecutors said the 53-year-old man, whom Danish media, who've not named, he used bots to artificially inflate the stream count on 689 tracks that he uploaded to streaming services, including Apple Music, Spotify, and UC Music. I've never even heard of this one. You see how I'm always telling you? Independent musicians and even national stars, they have no clue in terms of the music industry news, the products, the rollouts that are coming. Have you ever heard of UC Music? This is the kind of stuff that William will go down the rabbit hole on. This is where I urge you, when you see things on this program and you hear words and you hear names that you've never heard about before, you should not even be watching this live stream without having a notebook, in my opinion. There's too much to learn. During the trial in February, prosecutors said 244 tracks were listened to 5.5 million times in 1 week, with a majority of those streams going to 20 subscription accounts. So you're telling me that 20 subscribers played this music 5 million times in a week? Imagine that. I wouldn't want to hear Black Light Invasion ever again. Golly. That's crazy. It's impossible for genuine listeners to have racked up such a high number of listens on such a small number of accounts in such a short time, prosecutors said, and the defendant likely employed unauthorized techniques to rack up the streams, i.e. bots. Why is that even news? Like, everybody, why is this possible? I thought this was 2024 and all the machines are smartphones and artificial intelligence, even with all the fucking gadgets and state troopers and robots and fucking RoboCop and fucking Skynet and fucking police. All it takes is one Danish goofball to rack up a bunch of million streams. All one dude, some guy from the hood somewhere, some kid in the back of a Target. This is wild. Regular people can just push this technology over, and what's it any good for? What good is any of this stuff if it truly can't protect you? Like, remember all the Windows defenders and pop-up blockers and security systems they used to sell us, 20 years ago on the internet? It was crazy. Remember that shit? Malware and spyware, Trojan horses. Remember that? Trojans? I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So, the fraud reportedly took place between 2013 and 2019. Between 2014 and 2017, the defendant was the 46th highest earning composer streaming in Denmark. You guys have never even heard of this dude. Prosecutors originally claimed the defendant had earned 4.38 million USD. Wow. These were on the fraudulent streams, but ultimately only 2 million in earnings could be proven. Well, of course, because some of those streams were probably legitimate, some of them, I guess, right? The court ordered 2 million to be confiscated from the defendant and added a $29,000 fine. Wow. The defendant indicated in court that he plans to appeal the verdict. So this guy took this shit to trial, dude, and lost. This guy stole a bunch of money and then took it to trial and lost. He was found guilty. I know how it works in the United States. I'm not sure how it works in, where's that? Like, where's Danish? Where is that? Where's the Danes? Where do they live? No offense to anybody that's from there. Forgive me if I'm not saying that right. Where are Danish people from? Does anybody know? I really don't know. So, I'll look it up after this. We are pleased that the court has affirmed that streaming fraud is deeply criminal. Do you see what the court said? The court has affirmed that streaming fraud is deeply criminal and serious. Melissa, you hearing this? It is deeply criminal and serious. When you guys say that I'm coming on here whining about people stealing, you guys are like, oh man, stop whining about stealing. Well, here in another court around the fucking globe, it says, this is somebody that's willing to agree with me on the other side of the planet. They're saying that streaming fraud is deeply criminal and serious. It's a historic verdict that sends a strong signal about the severity of streaming manipulation challenges. Bro, this case also shows that this type of fraud can be detected and that both rights holders and authorities take the issue seriously. It's important. It will be an important starting point to prevent similar cases in the future, especially with the development with artificial intelligence. Yo, I mean, there you have it, y'all. What y'all think, man? And I'm glad that we're getting right into this because I set this up nicely. The next topic is really the biggest questions for digital service providers and what they face in 2024. I've been reporting it for the last 30 months, but you guys think I'm kidding. Yeah, you guys think I'm full of shit. So here we are. Why is big news talking about all this? Why is streaming and streaming fraud why is it so energized that literally hundreds of articles are generated nightly? People are going to jail. People are getting fined. You know, new startups are popping up everywhere. Everyone's trying to go artist-centric, and everyone's rebranding what it means to be independent. Those are all clear signals. That is all clear evidence of what I've been trying to tell all of my lazy friends in the music industry. I've been telling you, and y'all have been ignoring me. And look, this is why I'm showing it to you. I'm showing it to you. I'm going to put some more coffee in here. One sec. If you guys don't know what a DSP is, it means digital service provider. So that's like Pandora, iTunes, stuff like that. That's for people that didn't know. You guys are always welcome to ask questions, and you should. Hans says it affects us all. He's right. It does. It absolutely does, brother. So what do you guys think about that so far? Let's continue. The latest episode of the Music Ally focused podcast aligns with our latest quarterly report. I'm going to have to listen to these guys. I didn't know they had a podcast. So apparently they stream with a man named Joe Sparrow. I'm going to have to check this out, y'all. This is the type of stuff that William would look further into. You hear me? Here is some of the key points and select quotes from the conversation. I love this. Artist payment models evolve. Listen up, everybody. The last few years, we've been writing a lot about the debates about the music streaming economy, emphasizing the widespread discussion about whether current business model supports artists sufficiently. In the wake of industry figures like Universal Music Group's Sir Lucian Grange calling for more artist-centric models. Who did you hear that from first 2 years ago? Come on, man. Y'all got to get with me, man. Let's do it. Artist-centric focus and fraud. Streaming platforms are adjusting payout and seeking to segregate music content from non-music audio, like white noise sound and pink noise and rain sound. That is to ensure artists receive fair compensation. And they say it's about cracking down on fraud, shifting the royalties a bit from the least popular tracks towards what you think of as professional emerging artists. That's what Stewart says. And then explains how changes to royalty distribution could better support the artist trying to make a living from their music. Redistribution of royalties. The redistribution of royalties. One significant statistic discussed was Spotify's pledge to redirect $1 billion to professional emerging artists over 5 years by deprioritizing, that is a tough word, over 5 years by deprioritizing lesser heard content. And yet, this money won't simply come cutting royalties from tracks only played a few times. Tracks with less than 1,000 annual plays account for very little of its streams, around 40 million a year of royalties. The future of tools streaming services provide to artists. Looking ahead, it seems clear that the music industry needs to evolve to further benefit artists, including providing better access to data and analytics, creating tools for audience growth, and identifying ways to better remunerate artists. I might have to go listen to that. I really might have to go tune into that because that sounds amazing to me. Yeah, so that's on Music Ally, and you can go check that out. And there's a whole podcast on it, and it's the biggest questions DSPs face in 2024. So it's not just me whining about it. The whole world is whining about it. The whole world is talking about streaming fraud. So if you don't want to talk about it, you have that choice. But just know that that's probably why you're outdated in the music industry conversation in the first place, is because it's hard work to stay on top of this stuff every day. And it's not all good news. And sometimes no news is good news. So, I mean, you got to dig in to be a part of this shit. You can't just sit there in the band room and think you're going to stay up to date on this. Hum a song, search hit to YouTube. Have you guys tried this yet? Apparently, it's like a technology. You can go on there and go, supernatural. And somehow it's going to, I wonder if that works. Let's read about it a little bit. After adding the ability to identify what's playing in the background on Google Search and YouTube, YouTube Music is finally rolling out hum to search functionality. Are you guys excited about that? I mean, how many motherfuckers can hum accurately? You know what I mean? Hey, good morning, Scott. How's it going, bro? Welcome, welcome. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here, everybody. I'm glad I'm starting to see at least a couple familiar faces in the morning, because at least we have a foundation here on William vs. the World, because it truly is a global experience. The topic really today is why are we covering this stuff? What's the point? You know, why would a guitar player in a rock and roll band take out a couple hours of his morning and talk about all this stuff? Why would I be whining about all this stuff? I'm whining about it all because the modern music industry model is a criminal enterprise. It's a criminal enterprise that lowers the quality of life for musicians and people that pay for music. So I'm going to talk about it every day until I die, if necessary. So get ready for it. People that don't like to learn, this is definitely the wrong time to be on the page. For those of you that are here and you have the courage and the bold personality to hear the facts about the everyday events in the music industry, are definitely a part of my team. And we are part of the new team, the new music industry. We are part of a new music industry that is challenging an old model. That's the reason why we do it, because I'm part of a new industry that challenges the outdated criminal industry of what we have come to know as the music industry. The modern day and historical music industry is one that I can look you in the eyes and boldly explain to you and show you that it is a criminal enterprise founded on deception and theft. So that's the modern day music industry. And that's why I host these conversations. Not only so I can make you aware of it, so I can challenge anybody who thinks otherwise in real time. Scott says the music industry has been ripping off bands for decades. Yeah, suit and tie motherfuckers that don't know shit about music. And yo, Scott's right on point with that. And that's why I really appreciate you here, man. For real. Because we need more people like you. We need more people who are not fearful to take a look at the emerging, evolving stories in the modern day lie. You guys have the bold personalities to take a risk to come with me and look down a dark hallway. Maybe it's not all pretty. Maybe there's some ugly things down there that we're going to discover. But by us discovering it, we'll be able to host the intelligent conversations that repurpose and re-energize our pathway and inspire hope and in change and fairness and a freedom and full benefit at the highest quality of what art and music has to offer. It's a birthright in our lives, for us to love this stuff, for us to be healed, for us to rejoice, for us to express, for us to dream and live, and use this magical experience, the shared phenomenon of vibration and communication. We've lost touch with what that is because we treat music like an economy. We treat music like a viral product instead of what it's really used for. And it's used for, well, many things for sure. But one of the most important things music is used for is healing. That's why we cannot have it understood at a lesser value, because music is a healing phenomenon. Music is a teaching phenomenon. Music and vibration are the bridges between our ignorance. Music doesn't care about noses and skin colors and all that other crap. Music is the bridge. Music is the vibration and the bridge that unites us and our differences. Music is the connection, the vibration, the oscillation that reminds us that we are all spinning on a ball like a metronome going 1,000 BPM. It reminds us that there was something before humanity. Music was here before human beings. Scott says, they steal your music that you create, so hard making. Many bands that I listen to when they sign at a younger age never look deep into the fine print. We are one of those bands, Scott. We are it. I don't pull any punches here. There are not many bands who will say what I'm about to tell you because they're too embarrassed to admit it. We signed a record deal with Pavement Orchard, and they stole our money. Just like you see on TV, on VH1, just like you hear the horror stories from eager, dreamy bands, rappers, singers, songwriters, the same horror stories that you hear that TuneCore is doing to their artists, the same horror stories that you hear Distro doing to their artists, where they manipulate, they stash royalties, and they hide behind fine print because they know these poor artists aren't getting paid enough to put a lawyer on retainer. In many cases, these labels and A&Rs, it's easy for them to predict that these artists will go all in on their money. They'll go all in on their music. Tunnel vision. And they don't go all in on the law. They don't go all in on education. And that's what this program is about. For our band, for me, we made hundreds of mistakes trying to enter a music industry. And a lot of the stuff that I talk about on this program it takes more than 5 or 10 minutes to unpack. So that's why a lot of the tougher issues, we migrated off of the Honeycomb Hideout, because we just felt like the Honeycomb Hideout should be a little bit lighter and brighter. Because a lot of the stuff that we have to talk about in the music industry isn't so, it's not always the type of things that are happening that you want to celebrate. You know, there's not a lot of celebration in the real music industry. So for energy purposes, you know, and for accuracy, we figured, you know, if we're going to be educating people, if we're going to be revealing information that we have each day, and we're going to be committed to that output, it's going to get depressing for a lot of people, because the truth about the music industry is absolutely fucking depressing. So I totally get why many artists, especially new artists who haven't been ripped off enough yet, might not like this program. And I understand artists that have been ripped off their whole life are also not going to like this program, because it's bad news. And the reason why you see me here doing it and not one of my other band members is because I can handle it. Let me read. Trish is over there on YouTube. Thank you so much for letting me know that that works. So, and she says, lots of our friends in original bands have been excited to be signed. We never saw them having any benefit. So we, the band Diamond Edge, have always been self-published. I think that was just very well said. I mean, it's really accurate. And maybe someday I'll tell you guys the story about our record deal. I don't have the time for it today or the energy for it. Plus, you already know I'm going to be extremely passionate about that conversation. So I'm not prepared to have it today, you know. But someday I'll walk you guys through that, because it'll really help people understand and determine and come to the conclusion of understanding why I put so much into the daily output and the frequency of education I'm trying so hard to get through to people. And you might ask yourself, like, what am I set out to achieve, you know? And that is to stop, that is to dissolve, that is to absolutely educate people on the modern, outdated criminal enterprise called the music industry. The same music industry that is perfectly comfortable hiring sex offenders, psychopaths, abusers. They are lenient and sympathize, especially in the rock and heavy metal industry. They sympathize with criminal, I would say, like, people that abuse women and groom, and people who litigate and pay their assault accusers to avoid trials. The rock and heavy metal community has a lot of inventory they need to take in the amount of rapists and sexual assault criminals that are in hard rock and heavy metal, especially the independent community. And you guys know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. I'll look you right in the fucking face and tell you. But there is a lot. I mean, historically and modern day. I don't know why rock and heavy metal are okay with this. Anyways, some of my music creator friends make money in the industry licensing instead of making albums. They write specific genres for movies and jingles and they make real money that way, but it's a side hustle. Yeah, no, I feel that. That's like the cover band thing. That's like it makes makes sense. Write commercials, video game music, sync licensing. I totally get it. Totally. I think for some people, especially the people that have that appetite to write like that, I would definitely take advantage of that. I can't write music like that. It wears me out. It absolutely for me. I'm just the type of music. I'm thinking about it now. I don't know. Sometimes I wish I had those skills, but I'm definitely not upset that I don't have them. I admire people that have those skills. I think that's a special kind of musician. I have done a lot of like custom work, and I've done a lot of studio work for people. But I say I'm still a lot of times I'm hired for original work. A lot of the time. So it's like the times that every time that every time I've been hired to like write a commercial or something like that, they never pick it. I can't write, and I also can't write stock music. Like it's terrible. I can't do it. Like if something feels, if something feels too power chordy, you know what I mean? If something feels too much, I mean, shit, man, it could sound like Footloose for all I know. But it's okay if that's happening to me like passively or involuntarily, But if in my mind I think it sounds like a Pantera riff, I won't play it. If I feel like it could be Happy Birthday, you know what I mean? Like I was saying about the Bernie and Phil's thing. Let's do it again. Bernie and Phil's quality, comfort, and price. That's nice. See what I'm saying? It feels like that. Now I'm never gonna be not able to hear that now. Like obviously, okay, so like that's me playing in the background, right? But when I played that little musical bit, I wasn't thinking about Bernie and Phil. Let's hear it again. Like what the? So, I do. So we write a lot of jingles and shit and everything, but they wind up just being. Yo, Scott, thank you, bro. So has anybody tried the YouTube hum a song thing yet, or no? Oh my God! Don't start with the water country shit. Don't you dare. I wish I knew the lyrics. I mean, I feel like people that have not even been to Portsmouth or New England should know that jingle. It feels like a global thing, doesn't it? Like think about like you guys know the giant glass jingle. Most of you guys, some of you guys are from New England, so that's why I know. I know Trisha from New England. That's why I'm asking. You motherfuckers are probably like, what the fuck is Bernie and Phil's? Like, why does he keep talking about that? It's a New England thing, man. Bernie and Phil's, giant glass. I know all them. I know all the. I know all the old radio spots for the New England shit. Well, yeah. What's your favorite? What's your favorite jingle? Yo, you know what? We're gonna do a Sepsis remix of the Water Country one. We would fucking kill that. Country is a very cool spot when you. I don't know the fucking words. I'm about to look them up. No bullshit. Yo, no bullshit. Yes, please. I would really like that. Also, perhaps an iced coffee today. Sorry, I had to send a message out. Let's look it up. Water Country theme lyrics. Like, who wrote this? I wonder if it's public domain. Oh my God, this is crazy. It's on Wikipedia. Yo, Melissa! She's never going to believe this. Yo, come here! I have to yell like that because you guys know that I don't know if you guys know this, but Melissa is deaf in one ear. So I'm not yelling at her. I have to yell at like that. Like if she's way in her office, I have to yell like that because she'll never hear me. So just please. Please. I assure you, I'm not like yelling at her. It's just that I'm telling everybody that you can't hear, and that's why I'm yelling. Did you know? Listen to this. I'm sorry to bother you. Listen to this. Did you know that the Water Country lyrics are so popular they're on Wikipedia? Dude, we should totally go to the band room and we got to do a reel of the Water Country song. No, it's such an iconic melody. Do you know the melody in your head right now? Yeah. Ha! Sort of. See, you know it. I got the lyrics. We're gonna do it. That's funny. If we don't do it, we're gonna make Where you going? Oh, she left. So she's not interested in that. We want to hear a version from Diamond Edge. If Diamond Edge does like a giant glass 1-854 giant, we should all New England bands should just start doing New England jingles. Fuck it. But Sepsis has got Water Country because I'm from Portsmouth. Y'all can't do me like that. That's so exciting. When the sun is blazing and the summer gets hot, Water Country's a very cool spot. Yeah, dude. Yeah. This is fucking awesome. Yep. We're going to do it. You know, I don't know a place on planet Earth where you can be peed on by that many children, but Water Country is that spot when the summer gets hot. Have some fun. What a great jingle. I got to check out who wrote that. Scream version of Water Country. That's funny. Yo, Kev, what up? Yo, I'm trying to figure. Yo, Kev, are you going to Rockfest, bro? Are we all going to Wisconsin? Are we all going to go open up the show for Jelly Roll? I wonder if my band is getting nervous yet. Like, let's look up how many people go to Rockfest. I feel like actually, Rockfest, Wisconsin capacity. Oh my goodness. Okay, so check it out. 7,500 campsites. Let me just start like that. Kev, what are we doing? 7,500 campsites. That's ridiculous. Kev's like, I need to get the time off of work. Man, I'm not going to hold you to it because that's crazy. That's a big commitment. But if you do wind up going, I know obviously it's not just because you're going to come and see us. People think that I might feel bad. No, we're all going for all the amazing music. Don't feel bad. No one's going to go to Wisconsin just for little old Sepsis. However, think about seeing our band with all of these other bands. It's crazy. What a great experience. It really is. Don't worry, we're going to start practicing this whole stage thing too, because it really dawned on us that like the stage is really wide. The stage manager told me we could make it smaller, we could like do things with it, but I think I want to keep the bigness of it, right? I want to keep the bigness of the stage. I want to keep the space, and I want to try to practice for the remaining months to put on a show that can facilitate the size of that stage. It'll be nice. Chad's like, it's going to be awesome. Yo, for real. And, you know, we're going to get a shitload of footage for sure. Lexi will be screaming that show, so there'll be performances by her. We're doing all of our newest music, which is awesome. You know, there is there's a few surprises if you are going to the Rockfest performance. Anyhow, y'all got me daydreaming now and shit. I forgot I was online. I forgot I was even doing the show. Some say Dolby Atmos mixes are expensive. Put a 1 in the chat if you know about Dolby Atmos. Put a 1 in the chat if you know about spatial audio. Put a 1 in the chat if you know what the fuck I'm talking about. How much time are they giving Sepsis on stage for the show? We're going to be on stage at Rockfest for an hour. Yup, we're going to be out there for an hour. Chad, I'll get you whatever you need. Chad, are you going to Rockfest, dude? What? Are you going? Well, I'll tell you right now, Chad, I'll get you whatever you need. You just let me know what you need. Chad, you're like staff. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just let me know what you need. Most of you guys in this chat are like staff members. That's why I'm so loose. That's why I feel like I could be so comfortable. I don't feel like this is a professional. This is supposed to be more like a conversation. Like the Honeycomb Hideout is like a podcast, you know? This is for us. We're supposed to talk. Oh, okay, Kev. Yeah, talk to me anytime, bro. Anytime. You guys know you can always talk to me. Appreciate it. Alternatively, I don't know if you have my phone number, but Kev, you know. Kev, like, you know me well enough. You can have my phone number, bro, you know. You know what I'm saying? We cool like that. That way, like, if we're ever like torn and we're all moving around and doing certain stuff, it's easier to all work together, you know. But I love Discord. I wish it was like easier to like coordinate as a group, but I feel like a lot of people are more accessible like on social media, I feel, or on the telephone. But Melissa's done such a great job with it over there. I wish we could utilize it a little bit more for team sports, you know. But what I like about this live stream is most of you guys in here, like most of y'all are staff members or like people we work with directly a lot, or VIPs or people that are like family. So thank you guys for not treating this live stream like I'm under scrutiny or this is like some professional performance. I was hoping that this would be a way for people to actually get to understand not just me a little bit more, get to know me a little bit more, but understand the mission and the message of the band, you know, and understand that like our lyrics reflect a lot of what's going on in the music industry, a lot of what's going on in our lives. We're not a fantasy band. We don't sing about Satan or the dungeons and shit. Much respect to all of those bands that do. We don't sing about politics or stuff like that. Shout out to those bands that do. Our band is about human beings, so that's why a lot of our music is about people. And we kind of write our music more like rappers, where we kind of write about what we see every day and what we're going through every day, and you know what I mean. And like we write about stuff that human beings would go through. You know, we are more like focus on authentic human experience, you know, that more than, you know, taking you off the planet, you know what I mean? Sepsis is more about bringing it in, you know, not it'd be hard to study to our music, put it that way. Anyways, you guys can contact me whenever you want. Back in October, Digital Music first reported that Apple Music was introducing higher royalty payouts for Dolby Atmos mixes. That has sparked some pushback, particularly from indie and unsigned artists who feel Atmos upgrades come with a hefty price tag. I mean, that's the way studios used to be. It used to be expensive to go to the studio, and only the rich people could play the game. As technology improves and gadgets improve, of course, the people that are educated quickly and have money to burn and spare time will get to play with this stuff, you guys. Independent artists don't have spare time and money to burn. That's why they're independent. Because in the music industry, you hire people and you pay for products and gadgets to do things for you. That's what the music industry is. The music industry is a concept of departments, pieces and fragments and departments that make up the whole of something. That's the idea of it. But in the same sentence, in the same description, it is people, an industry of departments that manufacture products, advertising, and images, and they do it for you. Being an independent is doing it on your own. So, that's the big problem with the music industry, is that independents are so hypnotized and brainwashed that naturally, to authenticate themselves and feel like real musicians, independents are obsessed with buying into products, with purchasing and developing networks and relationships with people who have an output of success in the music industry. Independent artists obsess and buy and defend products that allow them to fake it, that put them in a catalog, that put them in a mindset that they are going to share the same play space with the larger artists the independents look up to. That's what makes Spotify have so much prestige. If Ed Sheeran wasn't there, and Taylor Swift wasn't there, and DMX wasn't there, and your favorite drill rappers wasn't there, and if all of these people and artists weren't on these platforms with such a high image of success output, you would not have poor, dreamy independents fighting so hard to be accepted by these developers. You wouldn't have independents being so ambitious to be accepted by places like SoundCloud and iTunes. The only reason why artists are so excited and so obsessive about being a part of those communities is because R. Kelly is on it, and Drake, and Adele. That's why. So we have this come one, come all new music model. After pirating music, the only solution that people could come up with was streaming. We went from pirating and outright stealing music in all free-for-all. It's like you see these kids kicking into Apple stores, and you see people running in to storefronts and stealing merchandise and groups of kids running in and stealing merchandise out of the stores. It's the same thing we were all doing during music piracy and media piracy and Pirate Bay and LimeWire. That's what we were all doing. We were stealing video games and stealing music, and we were stealing movies, torrent sites, right? BitTorrent, Pirate Bay, LimeWire. And we found out, we agreed, remember Napster, we all agreed as a species that it was harmful. As a species, we agreed that piracy was harmful to people. But we didn't have anything to replace it. The only thing that we have found to replace it in the last 20 years has been streaming. And the streaming model is come one, come all, we have all artists. That's how places like Spotify and iTunes, that's how they manipulate consumers into giving them the subscription money. Because they say, give us $100. Instead of listening to your favorite artists, we will give you all media for a one-stop shopping price of, $11.99 a month or whatever outrageous ticket it is now. I think to get Spotify yearly now, Spotify Premium, I think is like $115 or something like that. But the truth is, most people don't listen to 100 artists a year. Did you hear what I just said? If you buy a subscription to Amazon Music or something like that, it's about $100. But most people don't listen to 100 artists a year. Most people don't listen to over 20 artists a month. Not you, not me, not nobody. People don't listen to thousands of artists. They just don't. And they didn't do it during MTV either. People are like, I want to go back to VH1. No, you don't. They suggested you music just like Spotify does. MTV suggested music to you just like iTunes does. They had their own algorithm. They had their own data collection team. Jesus Christ. They had their own team of people that study listening habits and run the numbers and all this bullshit. And then of course, they try to predict what people will like before they like it. Why is this important in terms of Dolby Digital Atmos? Is because when you have a come one, come all business model, it means the mountain and the career climb gets higher. The more anyone can just go to the studio, then it pushes that peak, that career climb. It means more talent is entered into the pool. Rightfully so. That's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with everyone having a chance to make it. But what that does, by allowing everybody a chance to play Major League Baseball, oh, wait a minute, they don't do that. By allowing everybody to be a professional kung fu, wait, they don't do that. So think about like Hollywood. You know how Hollywood, they have something where everyone has a chance to be an actor? Oh, wait, they don't have that, do they? Not everyone can be a roofer. Not everyone can be in kung fu. In the NFL, there's no model in football where everyone gets a chance to be a football player. Not everyone gets a chance to be a hip-hop dancer. No, you have to dance well to be a hip-hop dancer. Not everybody can be a hip-hop dancer. Not everybody has a chance to be a violinist. Listen, Not everybody has a chance to play the violin, and not everybody has the chance to be a hip-hop dancer, because to be a hip-hop dancer or to be in the NFL, you have to be a professional. So why in music do we have a model where everybody gets a chance to pretend to be a professional? The music industry is the only business model where we lie to consumers and tell them that they can be professionals at it. Not in football, not in painting, not in roofing, not in soccer. There is no fucking farming industry. There's no other industry where we tell everyday neighbors that you can do it too. Bro, it's a trick. We don't tell people that they can be strippers, cam models, dancers, hookers, whores, gangsters. We don't tell people that they can be everything. But when it comes to music, we have these gadgets, we have this music model in streaming where we lie to everyday people and we tell them that they could be aspiring musicians. No, they can't. Don't get me wrong. You can play soccer in the backyard. Don't get me wrong. You can sing music in your bedroom. You get what I'm saying? There's no communities in football or soccer or baseball where they encourage their neighbors to go play wiffle ball and pretend that it's professional ball. There's no come one, come all model. And they tricked y'all into believing that there is. We can't all be brain surgeons. We can't all be professional guitar players. So when you have a mindset, when you have a mentality of this come one, come all kind of business model, that's fine. But the consequence of that is the mountain and the career climb and how many people are creeping and crawling up that mountain. So not only is the peak of that mountain getting higher, and steeper, the mountain is getting higher, the career climb is getting higher, and it's getting steeper. And you have all of your neighbors pulling you down the mountain, trying to climb to reach that level of professionalism. But you have a lot of professional people trying to climb the mountain, because nowadays you don't have to be a professional mountain climber. You don't have to be a professional climber to pay somebody to hook the gear up, put you in a harness, and stick your ass on that mountain even though you don't belong there. In the modern day music world, in the modern day music industry, you don't have to be a professional mountain climber. You don't have to be a professional racer. Because of the internet, because of the modern day streaming business, come one, come all model, anyone can be on Spotify. Anyone can be on the mountain. Anyone can take the professional climb. Anyone can be a professional racer. The difference is, in race car driving, if you don't know how to turn the wheel, if you don't know how to make the predictions accurately on the course, you could crash and kill yourself. And that's why in racing, they don't have a come one, come all model. Because life and limb. But in the music industry, there's a never-ending pool of suckers and dreamy musicians that are looking to strike gold, that are looking for a hit. They're not really taking the professional climb. So somebody that has no business and no pursuit or skill sets in being professional or becoming professional, as long as they have the money and they have the contacts, they can hire someone or pay someone or buy a gadget to catalog them into to give them the ignition key to begin a professional climb. And what is the problem with that? The problem with that is there's only so many guys that can be in the AA meeting at one time. There's only so much capacity and there's only so many chairs where people can go get educated. And you got some people in there that are trying to get educated, they're trying to get healthy, they're trying to move forward in their lives, and then you got other people in there that are taking up seats, wasting their time, trying to fulfill alternative motives. And I don't have a problem with that, but we just need to understand that when we read articles like this, what we're looking at is the professional playing field separating itself from the independent playing field. This is the professional playing field leveling up and separating itself from a come one, come all mindset and mentality of the modern day music industry. You're damn right Dolby Atmos mixes are expensive, and so is the gear. So in this sense, rich people get to buy and get to use the most expensive gear. People that are fortunate and have enough free time and spare time, people that have money have spare time, and with that spare time, they can get educated. And that's why independent artists don't get educated, because they don't have the time and the money for the professional climb. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to give you that news. No, I'm not. I love all of y'all, and I'd rather you be smart. I'd rather you guys have the tools. I'd rather be honest. I'd rather us take on the challenging topics together, you know? And I think together this gives us an advantage over people who are too terrified to look. Scott says, honestly, I don't understand or care for listening to music on Spotify or any other streaming apps. Call me outdated. I love listening to music on CDs, records, and tapes. Honestly, Scott, a lot of people still feel that way, bro. That's not even rare, and especially for our fans too. If you go look the other day, I think you might have said something on it. But we are always polling people and asking people what they think, because we know our fans are different. That's why we have to check in with you guys so much. But like a lot of times we're asking and posting about stuff is because we don't know. I think a lot of times we might get fitted as know-it-all a lot because of the output that I personally have, but that's not my band. That's just me. That's just my personality, you know. That's why we have so much output and education on the channels. Melissa co-founded the band, and she really encourages me to come on here and talk with you guys and educate everybody about the stuff that I trained and educated most of our staff members and all the band members and people that you guys have seen here throughout the years. So I got nowhere else to put this education and now share it with you guys. Some of it you can use. I'm sure some of it's probably really useless. Yo, what's up, Ashley? You got them suns and them sunflowers out. I love the emojis. Good morning to you. I'm glad to see you here again. For real. We're getting a little coffee crew in here. I like this. This is good. You guys are actually giving me more of a reason to be on time. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Now that I'm starting to see like some familiar faces, I'm like, okay, there's a couple people that like chatting in the morning. So I continue to come and do it. Originally, I was kind of nervous about coming on because it's like a lot of output, and many of our followers on the page are bands, and we know that it's really depressing hearing about the truth. I mean, the truth is the music industry is in fucking shambles. The truth is people don't know where to go for information. The truth is that people don't trust each other anymore. And the truth is, at a combination, we're having a hard time looking each other in the eye, and we're having a hard time believing what's on the screen. So this is just something new for people, you know. Instead of just bands posting about what they think, instead of people just putting up an article. I figure I'll take a few hours, a couple hours every morning. I'll do the work myself, and we'll pull in the big topics about technology. We'll collect the trending topics and the popular topics each night. Whatever the music industry is talking about the most, whatever the hot things are going on, we'll talk about every day. I'll do it myself, and I'll organize it, and I'll collect it each day, and I'll bring it here, and we'll just talk about it. There's no right or wrong. There's no, if we need to look up further, if there's something we don't know, if there's a word we don't know, then that's what we do. This is a peer review style stream. We're all on a mission together, and that mission is to find the truth. That's it. That's it. It's not to... This isn't about being popular or famous or making music. This is just about us understanding the field better than we have. This is about us sharing and reviewing information as intellectuals, as hopefully adults and young adults here, so we can do better, so we can talk better, so we can be better friends, so we can support our bands a little better, so we can discover a little easier, so we can be a little happier. That's the goal. The goal is to learn about the music industry and stop sharing rumors about it. The goal is to learn about the industry together and be able to measure it and see it develop each day without there being huge gaps and chunks of time that we can't measure and reference. And then we all get together in the same circle, and we become passionate about things that are developing without us. You feel what I'm saying? The whole world is developing. It's hard to have an opinion on that. It's hard to add value or quality or have anything to achieve. It's hard to set goals when you don't know what's happening. This live stream is the music industry news that you don't see on your timeline. This is the music industry news you'd normally scroll past. This time we're slowing the world down together and we're taking a look. I saw that one already. We did that one. How do we do all these? Oh, I guess that's it for today. We did the Elvis Act. Good. Now we did it, you guys. We completed the mission, at least for today. Don't forget that the Honeycomb Hideout is tomorrow. And be excited about that. Lexi is now the new host of the show. I've been demoted. But that's okay. Because now we're here doing this. I'll be back tomorrow with some more. You guys take care of yourselves. I'm going to go get something to eat and stretch out. I'll be back tomorrow with some more industry news. You guys take care of yourselves. Peace.